your life, you deserve to be more, be more, do more, have more, and give more. And now the Becoming More podcast with Dianna Kokoszka.
Welcome to the Becoming More podcast, where you learn from others on how to become more. And Austin Drisdelle is a great man that I got to meet up in Canada. Actually, I met him when I was doing a board breaking class. And as he broke through that board, wow, you could just see a difference in his confidence, in the way that he acted. And I recently saw him when I was speaking in Canada. Austin is a great leader. In speaking with his people, they said, you can truly tell that he cares about me. He travels around making certain that he speaks with all of the folks that work with him. And he truly does care about them, their families, knowing the names of their kids, knowing what they desire, knowing their goals. Yet let me tell you about this man, Austin. He's the founder of the Drisdelle Team, and he began his real estate career in 1996, following a successful background in private consulting and roles within the provincial government. Real estate has long been Austin's passion, and over the years, he's assisted nearly 3,000 people buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate. And he's cared about each and every one of those families. His approach is centered on delivering exceptional service through clear communication, integrity, and a strong work ethic. In 2012, Austin established his first market center, which most people know as offices in the real estate world, right there in New Brunswick. Under his leadership, it grew to become the largest brokerage in the province within a decade. Austin is also a dedicated supporter of local charities, including the local food bank, community kitchen, Chalmers Foundation, Community Living, and a Heart and Stroke Foundation, and the Canadian Cancer Society. Austin is a great friend of mine and a leader that I truly respect. He is the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams, and he also shares in the profit. We welcome you, Austin. Thanks for being with me today. So welcome, Austin. We're so excited for you to be on the Becoming More podcast. I've got to tell you, when I was up in Canada, I was so surprised and shocked when you gave me that lobster that was like this big, and it was all cooked. And of course, you took me over to your market center, and I was able to see through the market center and to meet some of the folks. And then we went in the back and you tracked everything, got it all set out for us. Literally, there were 2 of us, and it was a complete meal. Just to let our listeners know how big this thing was. And it was a total surprise. So it doesn't surprise me when it says that you actually grew your business because of exceptional service, clear communication, integrity, and strong work ethic. I witnessed that while I was up in Canada speaking up there. So I'm so excited to have you here. Thanks for being on the Becoming More podcast.
I'm excited to be on here. And Dianna, we go back a little ways. When I started to go to Keller Williams International for training, I got introduced to you, and my business grew because of your leadership and the leadership that Keller Williams was allowed to offer me to grow this business.
That's very kind of you. Yet here's what I want our listeners to hear, because so many people are addicted to information and allergic to implementation. That is not you, Austin. You hear something, you implement it, and you're actually the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams Realty International. Is that correct?
That's correct. We hold the #1 in profit share, owner profit, and #1 in profit share in a very small province in Canada, by the way.
I walked most of your town, for heaven's sakes, when I was there. I couldn't believe it was so small, and yet here you are, the #1 out of how many market centers is that?
I think there's 870 market centers.
Yeah, over 870 market centers. And you are number one in profit. And isn't that what business is supposed to do? It's supposed to give us a profit, where most people, they brag about their volume of sales or those types of things. Yet maybe their margin, they're only making about 10% profit. Well, why be in business? That's pretty bad. You're also the number one in profit share. So tell our listeners very quickly, how did you grow that profit share? Do you focus on it? Do you talk about it? What did
We,
you do?
so we talk about it a lot, and I think the secret to the success of the profit share in particular is pouring in on our current agents that are within our company, showing them the path of wealth building with passive income. And as a result of that, I think that we have the right people on the bus, that the right focus is happening, and we ensure that every bucket that we need to fill gets filled with attention and love.
Okay, I love that because the one thing I know about you is you love people and you use things. And some leaders get that a little confused. They use people and love things, right? And I've watched you pour into your people. Now, let's go to that wealth building because I think it's something that a lot of people they don't discuss with their employees or with their staff or with their independent contractors. And yet you're constantly talking about wealth versus just making money. Address that for us a little bit, Austin. What do you do to clarify the difference between making money and creating wealth?
Well, I think that the biggest difference for us is that I like to think that I'm in business with people and not just in relationships with people. And I know both of them go
Mm.
hand in hand, but I think that what I'm trying to do is put enough tools in their toolbox so that they can live life by design, not by default, and not live in scarcity. And if you treat each of the independent contractor as a business owner under the umbrella of the company that you're with, uh, you then get permission to talk about things besides buying and selling, whether that be profit share, whether that be starting a small portfolio and investing in real estate, or looking at other options in the real estate world that could be a legacy somewhere down the road for you and your family.
Yeah, I love what you're saying is you gain permission. A lot of people just think they know what their people need. And yet it sounds to me like you really get to know your people through relationship. More importantly, you ask questions of them to find out what they need and then give them the resources. Can you take us through just a little bit of what happens within your market center when, say, a brand new agent joins you, maybe even from another company?
So what we normally would do when we bring on agents, whether they're a seasoned veteran or brand new coming into the real estate business, is that we focus on the onboarding of that individual, and we set their trajectory for success in regards to how we would like them to build their business in regards to the financial side of it. A lot of realtors coming into business do not understand uh, basically what they do when they get a paycheck. They think that the check that they get belongs to them. So we go back right to the basics and say, set up a couple accounts, set up an account called your operating account, and set up a different account calling it your feel good account. And then when you have to pay the government their taxes, you have the money in that feel good account. And at the end of the day, if there's more money in your feel good account, then you can take that money and invest it in buying real estate.
I'm taking notes. That's why I look down from time to time. And here's the interesting part to me, to have an operating account and a feel good account. A lot of agents, when taxes come due, are really working to make that extra sell to pay their taxes because they've already spent all their money, for heaven's sakes, right? And
That's
so
correct.
you set it up right at the beginning. How important is this onboarding to you?
It's probably the most critical part of our operations. And the reason why I say that is that if the onboarding is not correct, then the the back door is open, wide open for retention. If you start them off the right foot coming in the door, the back door stays as shut as it can be.
Oh, this
Because
is so good.
we want to
It,
treat them
no,
as, and the thing is we want to treat them as business partners, then we should set them up as business partners. And I've had people, Dianna, tell me that have been with me now for 13 years under Keller Williams. I had people tell me that the best advice that I could give them right back when they first started was to go and set up their business and set up their different accounts so that when things got a little bit slower, they had the funds to keep going.
that's caring about the people and caring about their business. Now, do you think that came because you were a consultant before and you literally looked at businesses and helping them overcome their problems, giving them solutions? It sounds to me like you've got the solutions right there, teaching them the basics.
When I first got into business, I nobody told me about setting up two accounts, so I failed forward and said we got to do things a little bit different. And I always talk about leaving a legacy. And my legacy is not for my immediate family because I got two sons in the business. My legacy is for 275 realtors. And when I'm done, I want them to be able to remember how we came down this road together so that they can live a legacy now and not just leave it later.
Talking about leadership here. And one of the things that I know about you and observed when I was up in Canada speaking that day at the event is you were very intentional with the people that you were leading. Now, there were many market centers there. You all came together as a regional experience and event. And yet I watched you that morning seeking out people, asking them what they were planning on learning. You were setting the stage and another foundation for them. So, how do you set that stage for training to get your people excited about going to training?
So in our part, I spent a lot of time with the agents in the market center, and because I've spent so much time, I know what type of training they may not need to miss. So I'm always in there saying, "Hey, listen, my job is to bring it here. Your job is to take it. If you don't take it, I can't want it more than you want it."
Oh, say that again. That's really good.
I keep telling them that, my job is to bring in world-class training. And if they don't show up, that's on them. I can't want it more than they want it. And I've learned a long time ago that sometimes I get a little bit disappointed because I don't have all 175 people in the room. But at the end of the day, I said, at the end of the day, I got to care about the people that are in the room.
When you have a big training room, I was able to view that.
Yes.
And it was set up very, very well for the training. So I want to talk about this intentionality because as I've watched you and walking through the market center, every single thing seems to be very intentional. How important is intentionality in your leadership?
Uh, the intentionality for me is the utmost important, and we do things with intention of creating more conversation, more learning, more teaching, and more pouring in on those agents. So when they walk into the front of the office and they see the cultural heart that I have there, I always stop and say, "This is our heart. This is yours and mine, and we're partners together now, and we're in business together. You're not an agent. You're not a salesperson. You're my partner."
Oh, I love that. This is your heart and this is my heart.
Yes,
Wow, that definitely solidifies it. And then of course you said it's clear communication. We're in business together. You're not an agent, you're not a salesperson. You're my business partner. And you speak to them that way all the time. Is that correct, Austin?
all the time. Even when I'm in a group in a meeting setting or business meeting or training, I always use the word partner. And I think I'm
Oh,
probably
which
the only market centers that do.
you know what? I've not heard that before, and you probably are. Now, I trust that everybody's hearing this and they're going to start doing that because look at your profits. For heaven's sakes, you're doing a lot of things correctly. How often do you communicate with the people, your business partners?
I communicate with them on a daily basis. I'm the first one in the office in the morning, and I'm the last one to shut the light off at night. I put my time and effort in this, and I'm not a silent uh, business partner. I'm an active one. I have 9 market centers around the province of New Brunswick, and I cover the whole gamut in 2 weeks. One part of the province I do one week, and I do the other part the next week. And people ask me, "Well, why do you do that?" Because I want to maintain continuity, and I want them to see me in the market center saying, "I'm here for you."
I think that's important. You know, what you remind me of is Jack Welch. Jack used to absolutely go in all the different departments and he traveled across the United States to literally visit the people. And he never went to the leaders. He went to the people that were doing the work and he would talk with them and what's working for you, what isn't working for you. And better. He looked at them as partners as well. Who have you learned from, and who are some of your mentors that gave you some of these great ideas?
Well, if I if I was to go back into my 13 years at Keller Williams, you would be ranked right up there amongst the top. Uh,
That's
I've
kind.
been very fortunate to have good MAPS coaching. I had Debbie Frapp for a while, and Debbie went to do executive coaching, and she put me in touch with Terry Foster. And
Yeah.
Terry's been my coach for the last 8 years, and she has been the best thing that's come into my world.
Well, and hiring Debbie and Terry, they're both great people. So you've had great people to help coach you and guide you and direct you. Yet you don't just stop there because I know you believe that your business grows to the extent that you do. Often do you go to training and what are some of the things that you seek after? Maybe some books that you've read or podcasts you listen to?
So, in as far as training, if there's any training going on that I can be part of, and I'm managing 275 people. So I'm not going to training to learn how to sell and do real estate. I'm going to training to see what's out there that I can bring back and share with our partners. The last training that I went on for my franchise training was FSO, and because you got to go every 3 years, and I've done some
Huh?
career visioning, and the last big training that we brought was when we brought you the day before we brought Jeff Glover, and Jeff Glover spent a day and a half. And the amount of feedback we got from the Jeff Glover event and your event have been immense for me because we brought the right combination. We brought Jeff, who taught us about the tactical things of how to do real estate. And we brought you, who talked about our mind and our mindset and being prepared. The combination of those two was absolutely the highlight of 2024 for New Brunswick.
Well, that's very kind. And yet, mindset has a lot to do with this. You said earlier that you help people get out of scarcity. And I know you have an abundant mindset. You believe, hey, we're number one, yet we can still do better. And you're constantly striving to do better. Can you give us some tips on how to help people with an abundant mindset besides reading my book, right?
That's for sure. The other thing that we're doing is that we're constantly looking at readjusting how we deliver and what we deliver. So every Tuesday morning, I get on a Zoom call and talk to all my partners around the province, and I try to bring value, as much value as I can, in the 40 minutes that we're on with them. I either bring value from a learning perspective, or I bring value of what's happening in the market or what might be happening with the MLS system or what have you. So I'm always bringing something to that. The other thing that we're looking at is that I think that I've got a great training calendar, but I'm not 100% pleased with this. So I'm looking to come up with a world-class training calendar, one that we can have more training going on a regular basis, so that if we're so-called being a training center, I want to make sure that we have enough going on so that everyone can get a piece, whether you're new to the business, whether you're a seasoned veteran of the business, or whether you're trying to re-kickstart your business. I think there's an element that we can bring for all of those 8 partners.
Oh, obviously, you've done a great job because your retention is great. The numbers are there. You don't have people coming in and going out. You don't have a revolving door. You have a door that is open to everyone. And once in there, they desire to stay. What's your secret sauce? I want to know about this.
Well, I think the secret sauce in regards, and I said this to a couple of said it to my 2 sons who are in the business with me. I said, there's really no secret sauce, and there's really no easy button. The whole chemistry of what we're trying to do is trying to read what we can serve so that people can get better. Trying to make sure our value proposition is so good that when they come, they never want to leave. Our retention, the national retention is 36% a year. Ours is less than 10%.
Let's say that again, just a minute. I want to stop right there because I know the retention of the average real estate office. And it is right at that 36%. Yet yours is at 10%, an all-time low, one of the best that we've heard. And your numbers are accurate. I mean, there's no messing around because you keep those numbers very, very tight and you're looking at them constantly.
All the time.
So with the retention, I think calling them a business partner really does help. Yet I want to ask you, what numbers do you track every day? Because you know these numbers off the top of your head.
Well, the ones I track every day is the closed units, volume. The listings taken are big for me because that's their future business. And I just keep going down and seeing, okay, how many listings in-house that we sold? How many double enders are here? And I get this daily company dollar report, which is meaningful to me because I need to know how much company dollar we're bringing in so that and when am I going to get to the break-even point? And usually
you do that daily, though.
daily, every day.
Love that.
Every day I look at it. And then, when I look at the company dollar and I look at where we are right now with 2 months to go or 3 months to go, because we haven't transmitted yet, I'm over $3.2 million in company dollar.
Say that again, because for our listeners, they may not have a benchmark to go by there. So when you say that in company dollar, where does that equate with most of the market centers or real estate offices that are out there?
If I was going to use that number, I would say that not very many market centers are projecting right now $3 million in company dollar.
No, no, I would agree with that. And do you think it's because you watch these numbers daily? Because what you focus on expands. I'm a true believer in that. You focus on your numbers, you focus on calling them partners and having them in the business with you. What are other things you focus, or have we gone through all the numbers? Because I was so taken back by that $3.2 million.
Well, the other number that I focus on is not so much owner profit, because we brought this franchise in to be profitable. If we're not profitable, then we'd be having a whole different conversation. But when I'm talking to my partners in the market center, the emphasis is on the profit share side. And this year, we're going to hit $1 million in profit share.
Congratulations. That's fabulous, especially with such a small market center. How many agents do you have producing that 1 million in profit share?
We have 275 agents. Out of the 275 agents, we have 92 that are true cappers.
Well, cappers mean in real estate in
Cappers,
Keller Williams world.
cappers mean in the Keller Williams world is that whatever cap rate we have on the agents, once they reach the cap, they get the right to earn 100%. So we have 92 of those. And by the way, Dianna, those 92 are the average are enjoying anywhere between 6 and 8 months of 100% checks.
Wow. Now, I trust that all of our listeners are really getting this and understanding this. Out of 275 agents, 92 are enjoying for 6 to 8 months 100% of their commissions. Do you attribute that to your training, to the fact that you communicate with them daily, have this meeting that you do by Zoom with every single person every Tuesday? I mean, you're not the actual leader of the market center. Your title is not the person in charge of everything, right?
So we do have a lot of people, and here's how I look at it. I can't do everything, but I can do a lot of things. The things that I can't do, the everything is, I need to make sure that I hired those people, making sure that I have the right administrator, making sure that I have the right dopies, making sure that I have the right back office team, making sure that I have the right technology people that can answer the technology as we move forward and be able to analyze the results has made the world a difference. When Gary Keller said in 2018 at Family Reunion, we're going to become a technology company, I took that as being okay. If we're going to be called a tech company, I don't know anything about tech, but I got to find a person that can do this tech. And that's where we found Dave, our director of technology, David Whalen. And he has been with me for almost 5 years now. And he has been instrumental to go in and analyze a lot of this stuff that we talked about and bring me reports and say, here's where we should be heading for. This is where we're going. And we should address this, and this.
So I want to clarify for our listeners, DOFI is Director of First Impressions, the person that you meet when you first walk into the market center. And with your tech people, and it sounds like a lot of people give you reports. What specifically do you have reported to you by the people you call everybody else and the work that they do?
So what they bring to me is a report on the top 20% of our agents. Then I can reach out to those agents and look at their production and congratulate them on their production up to that point, or can have a different conversation in regards. I notice that your production is not the same. What's going on in your world? And that has made a huge difference because now they know that I care about them. And sometimes we don't understand that there could be a family dynamic happening in the background that has altered their production.
How many people actually look at the production and know the numbers? And I want to congratulate you because you are being a true partner with them. Partners know the numbers of the business. You not only know your numbers, you actually know the numbers of the top 20% and care so deeply about those numbers that if they're going up, you're in a congratulatory mode. And if they're going down, you're calling them to say, how can I help you? What's happening? And then you figure it out. Now,
So
let's say that somebody's numbers going down, Austin, and they're just challenged with some of the things to do. Do you meet with them one-on-one? Do you give them
uh,
books to read, or
oh,
what
absolutely.
specifically?
We have a maybe a Zoom or telephone conversation to make them aware that I'm aware.
Yes.
And then we set up a time that we can meet face to face, because I find that the face to face side
Mm.
is more meaningful than having a phone call. Now, the nice thing about the numbers is that I don't only have the numbers for the top 20% for the OP, I have the top 20% for the team leader, I have the top 20% for the productivity coach, and I have the top 20% for the people that need to be congratulated on in regards to using the tech.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of our listeners are not in the Keller Williams world with all the acronyms. Let's go through your role and explain what is the OP, what is the TL,
Yeah.
all of these
So
acronyms that we use.
perfect, perfect. So the OP in my world is called the operating principle. That's the person that's supposed to cast the vision and provide the financial means to get there. When I first started, that's what I was told. That's all I had to do. And I thought well, that's kind of boring. I cast the vision, I put the money up, and now I just sit here and do nothing. So I've taken the approach that I'm going to be a hands-on OP, and I'm going to learn about their business more than I learn about my business. Because if I can help them, then I'll get what I want at the end as a result of helping them. As far as a TL, that's the team leader, and that's the person who grows the company. That's the person they might call the recruiter, but that's an integral role, and that's a role that is sometimes very difficult. Now, I like to change because I've started to read your book, Becoming More. I like to change my mindset. So in regards to mindset, the team leader role has always been perceived as being the most difficult position in the organization. I'd like to think that we're going to make that a little bit easier because everybody is responsible for the growth, not just the team leader. And if
Yes.
everybody jumps in to help that individual to make his life easier, then our life will get easy as well.
So how have you done that?
Well, we've set it up in such a way that when the team leader is speaking to any potential candidate based on their production. And by the way, my director of technology knows all the production of every agent in the province that are not currently with Keller Williams. So we have that ammunition. That's the secret sauce. So we have that ammunition, and the TL will say, the team leader will say, we're bringing in a big hitter tomorrow. It's a $15 million producer. It's all hands on deck. The team leaders in the room, the OPs in the room, the director of technology in the room. And what we're doing in that meeting is not to verbalize how great we are at Keller Williams, but to verbalize trying to do a needs analysis to find out what pain points that we get triggered so that we can write the prescription for. And
it's interesting right there. I want to pause because too many people, I've always said prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And there's people out there producing malpractice and performing that every single day because they just want to almost like throw up all over people with everything that they have to offer when they don't even know if the person's interested or not. You
100
doing a needs analysis, finding out, can we help them? And if they're a business partner, I mean, for heaven's sakes, why talk about something that doesn't matter to them?
100%. So when we talk to them, we ask questions and we listen attentively. So one of the questions that I ask people all the time is, what in real estate, what keeps you up at night?
It's a great question.
And usually from asking that question, that individual's taking us down the road that the needs analysis is starting to flow out just like out of a bucket, right? And we're saying, okay, we understand. So it's not us verbalizing what we have to offer, it's us listening and say, I think that we can write a prescription for that. How would you like to go down this road?
Oh, that's so good. And now I know that there's things that you wish I would have asked you about that I have failed to ask. So what is it? Give us 3 to 5 techniques that you think every listener that is an operating principal or that runs a real estate company or even a business in general. Give us 3 tips that you think everyone should be doing in their daily life.
So I would, if I was going to give 3 things, I would say that you first of all, you must be present. You have to play all in. You got to be someone that's interested in the success, not of yours, but of the people that you surround yourself with. And then the second thing is I believe that you got to be able to understand your numbers, but more importantly, you got to be able to understand their numbers, because their numbers matter more than your numbers. There's some people that want to produce 10 deals a year, and there's some people that want to produce 100 deals a year. You need to understand the dynamics of who you're in business with. And the third thing I would say is absolutely a must, is good world-class training. And it's not training because you're filling up a calendar. It's training that's meaningful, purposeful, and has an end result that stays in the market center long after the presentation's over. Those are the 3 things.
I love those 3 things. And you've given us so much meat. This is one podcast that people should listen to over and over and over again and get in touch with you, Austin, because you have so much to offer. Over 800 market centers, and you're number 1 in profit and number 1 in profit share. I think everybody ought to be calling you. Not that I'm going to load up your phone here, yet they should have a lot of questions to be asking, more than I've asked. And we need to have you back on the podcast again next year as we start out that new year as to how are you starting out? How are you casting vision? What are you doing to make certain that you solidify that vision and make it come to fruition. I want to just kind of recap for us here, because it's about opening the door. It's also, though, about keeping the door closed, keeping the people, because they are partners with you. Not only knowing your numbers, know their numbers, care about the people, talk with them, have great communication, build a legacy for yourself. More importantly, build a legacy for the other people, helping them all along the way. You talked about not only planning, you talked about readjustment. We learn, we implement, we fail, and then we adjust and learn a new way to doing things. That you're talking to everyone, working to add value to them, having a weekly meeting with every single person in all of the market centers that you are over, making certain that they have the resources that are needed. You set things up for their success. From the moment they walk through that door, you're very intentional about the orientation. You're intentional about what their numbers are. They going up or are they going down? And you congratulate them if they're going up. You meet with them if they're going down to find out how you can help. That you are literally having many of your agents, about maybe a third, not quite a third yet, getting close to having 100% of their commission 6 to 8 months out of the year. And it's not about being intentional of a few things. It's about being intentional on a lot of things. And I think one of the biggest things that you gave us is who you are in business with truly matters. That you went out to find the very, very best tech person that you could find. And that each and every position that you are not taking care of because you've got your own things to do, yet you're making certain that those are covered by great and successful people, meeting with them constantly, giving them the resources they need to continue that success. So I got so many more things out of this, yet that's what I decided to share with everyone. Would you come back and be with us next year, Austin? We'd appreciate it.
I would love to do that anytime that I can be around you. I would appreciate it.
You are very, very kind. It was so much fun. And I won't even make you bring lobster next time. However, it was very, very good. I got to tell you.
I'm
So
glad you had it.
be certain, if you like this, hit the subscription button, subscribe to Becoming More Podcast so we can send it out to you every week, because we have great people. They have failed and they have succeeded. Austin, I know that everything that you are succeeding with came out of working at things, recollection, reflection, and then reevaluating them to a new way of doing it. After all, you can't be the number one out of a large company like Keller Williams without being intentional and working at it. So I'm going to once again say your clear communication, your integrity, and your strong work ethic absolutely come through. So thanks again. Thanks everybody for listening to us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
In your life, you deserve to be more, do more, have more, and give more. And now the Becoming More podcast with Dianna Kokoszka.